So, and what I learned from being different is that despite all the melting pot themes that are popularized by America, at deeper levels, they're very much rooted in their traditions, unlike us who are actually a deracinated lot in pursuit of fitting into their framework. So I'll just read out a quote on this subject. It says, but beneath the veneer of popular culture, the foundation of the West, especially with respect to its Judeo-Christian roots, remains largely unchanged. In the Western institutions where power resides, one finds little evidence of boundaries being erased. For instance, the US government's foreign policy is designed to retain superiority and protect what is specifically in its interests. So you allude to concepts like popular culture and deep culture. So could you tell us what these concepts are?
Yeah. It's very deceptive. Indians who don't understand the West will say, okay, but they're eating all the Indian food, they eat with their hand also, they go for a sitar recital, they have bindi. Okay, now that is popular culture.
Okay.
So in the realm of popular culture, it's okay, everybody is picking up things from everybody else. But there is something called deep culture, which is their equivalent of our Vedic culture. Every American child is taught, who are the founding fathers, something called American exceptionalism. Okay. American exceptionalism is a term that says we are the exceptional people of the whole world. Okay, so every child has to know what is meant by American exceptionalism. So these deep culture and a sense of superiority are there. Okay. And they have very solid institutions. They have church institutions, they have think tanks, they have a very solid educational program, a lot of civic society, a lot of NGOs, foundations, the government itself. So these are very old and very robust. Whatever scandal may happen in America, it does not affect the deep institutions. The deep institutions are very solid. Whatever scandal may happen to the Pope also, or some bishops are caught doing some sex scandal and all that. But the Vatican did not collapse. Yeah. Okay, Vatican can have there are thousands of scandals like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but their Vatican is a robust institution. So they have what protects the deep culture, the deep civilization of these countries is they have robust institutions. Right. They have learned how to build institutions. We have not built such solid institutions.
Right.
That's the problem. So if you had very solid institutions protecting our deep civilization, then popular level we could play games and be at liberty and go do whatever, because we would not be vulnerable. Our foundation would be solid.
Protecting our roots.
Protecting our roots.
So Rajivji, what is your take on modern Hindu global gurus like say Sri Ravi Shankar or Sadhguru? Like millennials seem to like the idea of global gurus over traditional gurus, like say the Jagat gurus of Kanchi or Sringeri. Why is that so?
The modern multinational gurus,
yeah,
okay, do play a role,
yeah,
because they bring the alienated Hindu back in a way that is more acceptable. The difference anxiety, you don't have to overcome too much. You can still be very westernized, and you don't have to deal with murti, you don't have to deal with things that you don't like, and you can come and do some meditation and some breathing and feel good. And so you feel very proud, you do some yoga, you feel very proud, you're helping poor people, you get involved in some cause like that, you feel very proud. These are things that are very westernized also. So you don't have any sense of shame in front of your Western friends.
Oh.
And you can be very proud that, I'm going to helping those poor people today. Yeah. And, I've done my yoga today and so on. I'm vegetarian. These are cool things. Yeah. So, whereas the orthodoxy, the tradition, also demands more. Yeah. So for instance, agamas. Agamas are the actual rituals, how they're done, and whether you have a coconut and you have milk here and you have this ritual going on, that to the Westerners is weird. Right. And it's very pagan. It's what they destroyed. The Christianity to spread itself destroyed all of that. So this reminds them, this Hindu stuff reminds them of that which is they dismissed as very primitive and bad and evil and to be destroyed. So the Hindu is embarrassed of these kind of things. Oh. So if they were to take their white girlfriend or boyfriend or somebody to the Shringeri Mutt, they would feel that, they have to wear the dhoti, right. They have to go, all of this stuff. So they feel very, embarrassed. Right. Yeah. But they take him to Sri Sri's ashram, then, you can just go do whatever, you just be cool, we're just cool, Like so it's kind of, so I think that is a matter of difference anxiety also.
Yeah.
Because the global gurus have understood the psychology that we don't want to push their difference anxiety too much. We'll tell them that you can keep doing whatever you're doing and just come here. It's good for business because they understand their client. So it's good for revenue, good for business. They can make good money and they can expand. Now I think they play a role. It's an important role they're playing. But my feeling is that these global gurus are also quite limited in their understanding of the Kurukshetra.
Right.
When I try to interview them, they change the topic. Some of them, one of the very important gurus doesn't want to give me an interview because he doesn't want to face these issues. He keeps vacillating his views on whether yoga is related to Hinduism or not related to Hinduism. Sometimes he says this, sometimes he says that, which is very wrong because he sends confusing signals depending on who he wants to impress. If he wants to impress a certain group that might give him the nominating for the Nobel Prize, he'll say certain things. Then when some Hindus come, he'll say something else. Some gurus are like that. Others will interview, but they'll do it in front of a big gala meeting with 1,000 of their followers and dilute the conversation rather than a private conversation where we can sit for an hour and get into deep issues. They don't want to do that. Because when they're in front of their large gathering, they can quickly change the subject. They can start talking about whatever and people will clap. And then that way they can shift the topic away from what I'm drilling down. When they think I'm drilling down too much, they have a trick to change the topic or announce कि हाँ जाके आप भोजन खाएंगे, we'll eat, you know. So they are avoiding. Very few of these global gurus are actually able to deal with the real issues when I raise them. So and you know their clout is so huge that if they take a position, most Hindus follow it. Because we don't have the tradition of Purva Paksha where I should be able to go and debate these guys. That is what we are supposed to be able to do with the gurus also. I mean, Arjun is great debating and discussing with Krishna also. So there's nothing wrong with that. So it's not blind faith oriented. So I feel that while the global gurus do serve a very important purpose, bringing alienated Hindus back, too much power and too much absolute power also kind of limits our ability to go beyond what the global gurus are offering. We need to, for elementary level, they are very good. For intermediate level, they begin to they are limited. But for advanced seekers, I think for advanced seekers, particularly those who want to engage the social, cultural, political world of Kurukshetra, the global gurus are not on par at all. Because they don't have, nor are the traditional gurus understanding the West. The traditional gurus learnt how to debate Buddhist or how to debate some, a particular darshan of the past. But what Shankaracharya was debating was not Marxism today. He was not debating postmodernism. He was not debating Christianity or Islam. But today's challenges in the Kurukshetra involve all these things. So we need people who can also debate them. And answer the questions for our people so that our people are strong and not weak in facing all this.
So what I learn is that our traditional gurus have not diluted the traditions. They're very much rooted, but they must also be scared to raise their voices because they don't want to fall into that web of being attacked by the West.
They should not be scared to raise their voices. And for that, in the curriculum where they're training traditional gurus, the curriculum, they should teach Western thought and how to respond. I mean, I've offered, I'll come and teach a 1 semester course to all your sadhus. I've offered that. And they say they talk a little bit once in a while, they'll do a little thing, but then they will not go deep enough.